He's probably the one that broke it. Just by visiting.
Alright, should be live on YouTube as well, and using this to test sound. Oh man, geez, today has been a terrible day for stuff getting right. One more second and we'll start up here. We are live on YouTube and this, but our page is not working right, so have to fix that. Alright, at least one thing got fixed. So now YouTube should be streaming on our page, foolishtechshow.com, and IRC is going to be currently down, so.
Just on the page.
Yeah, just on the page. You can join the actual IRC server. If you have a IRC client, you can join irc.foolishit.com, and 6667 is the port, and then pound foolish show, capital FTS, if you need to do that. But otherwise, welcome everyone to the Foolish Tech Show. Haven't picked that up already. We are here primarily to provide support and answer any questions about our products and services. If you do have any of those, you'll have to join that IRC network and chat like I mentioned. And otherwise, yeah, we'll probably just talk about random stuff going from there. So, how is everyone doing today?
Fairly awesome.
It's been a good, very busy day.
Yeah, it has. So I do have some links, and it looks like Phoenix posted some links, so we can get started with that stuff here. Alright, we'll just do that later. And alright, so let's look and see what Phoenix has gone through and posted here. He posted a lot, so I'll repost it again. Before we get into that, though, I did want to mention a topic that we'd gotten yesterday. Here we go. So, DG Murdoch III doesn't make the show very often, but he does come in our chat and post some interesting things at various times. So I'll repost his message here. And he pointed out a new place called nomoransomware.org, and it actually lists out a few of the various decryption tools for ransomware, and then gives you tips and tricks on preventing ransomware, and even possibly if you do get infected with ransomware. So just wanted to shout that one out and thank him for bringing that info. Appreciated. This next link I'm going to edit because it's not correct. So that's actually how it is supposed to be, because Mr. Robot aired last night, and killer episode last night. They've definitely come back to terms with where they're going and going forward. I am super excited to see out the rest of the season now. The beginning of the season, honestly, I was very about it. It was definitely starting to wear on me, and yeah, I was not a fan. So this one, the last 2 episodes have really turned that all around and brought it back, and really excited about where it's going. But they did show off, well, the coolest thing is previously in an episode they had mentioned the USB rubber ducky and had given it to one of the characters and said, use this if you need to. She didn't actually end up needing to and didn't end up using it. But last night's episode, she actually went through and used it and did everything properly. And essentially what she did there was pretty much similar to this YouTube link, where they loaded the Twin Duck firmware on there. So it's also a storage device as well as a HID injector. But on that, they also showed you how to steal Windows passwords with it. So you have a system that they didn't exactly point out the fact that the system has to be logged in with an administrative user, but they did go through and show stealing passwords from a system. I am kind of wavy on, because when they showed it on the episode last night, it was not like it was not what it was supposed to be, because it was just a black screen, and I would have thought that system was in sleep mode or hibernation even, but definitely not logged in. So I was kind of waning on that, but pretty awesome that they did actually show the rubber ducky, and they did show technically how you're supposed to physically use it right. I just don't think all the scenarios that need to be there were there for that one. But it was pretty cool, and I'm glad that they're getting the rubber ducky more. And I'm trying to get that link that Hack5 actually showed you how to do the exact same thing with the rubber ducky. So that is actually this link. And then they also showed off a device that I had not heard of yet, and Elliot, the main character, actually went so far as to call it the Dream Hacker's device, and it's actually the from PwnieExpress.com, and they do make one that you just purchase directly. I looked into it after Phoenix gave me that link there, and found out that it costs $1,200, so not going that route. But they do have a build your own version, so you could build your own. Looks like my copy and paste did not even work on that, so there we go. Have it loaded and ready already. So there's a build your own version of that PwnieExpress, and essentially it had a bunch of cracking tools and things like built into it. I think they only had a phone number, and they were able to crack a SIM and listen to the conversations going on with an open mic, which you may have heard of, that the NSA has been doing for quite a few number of years now, just turning on cell phone microphones and using that as recon. So extremely good episode, extremely good show. Super excited to see where they continue to go with that. See what else Phoenix put here. FBI director wants an adult conversation about backdooring encryption. So start acting like adults, and maybe you'll be on your terms there, because you're not going to be able to add it. Let's see what else he's got. FairWare ransomware infects servers through exposed Redis instances. Do any of y'all know what a Redis instance is?
Not offhand.
Assuming it's related to servers though. And I had seen some shots of this. Facebook Messenger now has video that you can have going while having your messenger going. It doesn't really make sense to me. If I'm looking at someone, I would expect I'd be able to talk to them, not like type to them and see their responses. That doesn't seem very worthwhile to me. Something about Apple bringing billions in taxes if US passes a tax holiday. For some reason, I don't feel like they're going to be paying billions in taxes just for a tax holiday. There's got to be more to that headline. We had posted yesterday about the Galaxy Note 7s exploding. They look pretty bad. One more link here from Phoenix is he had a Betabot Trojan that steals your passwords and then installs ransomware. So that's a step on that game, it looks like. And Phoenix mentioned that Redis is an open source in-memory data structure store used as database, cache, and message broker. So yeah, that probably would be a lot of regular things on servers. So let's see what else we got here. The Russian hacker Guccifer has been sentenced to 52 months in U.S. prison. So that's going to be fun for him. Phoenix posted that a vulnerability in Yandex browser allows attackers to steal victims' browsing data. What is a Yandex browser? And good. That's why you don't use unknown browsers. If you can't say your browser on the street, especially to a group of technicians here, you're using the wrong browser, I feel. I mean, unless, have you all heard of Yandex browser?
I have not.
I didn't
In
think so.
agreement with you.
I mean, even like less reputable ones might be, but Chinese-based Yandex browser. That's why. Not very reputable here. But yeah, that's a dangerous case. We've already seen it with Opera happening earlier this week or last week. Their sync server got hacked and stole a bunch of passwords and things like that from people. So
Who's sync server?
bad.
Opera, you said?
Opera, yeah, Opera browser. Yeah, they got hacked, and we had talked about it previously on a show here. Oh, so wow, this was the biggest news I thought, technology and otherwise today. There was an explosion at Cape Canaveral today. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket was supposed to launch today, and it ended up just exploding, and looks like it destroyed the entire rocket and the launching pad, and huge fire explosion. But on top of that, not only did SpaceX lose a rocket today, but they also lost a $95 million satellite that Facebook was going to send up on that trip, and it was the one that they were going to beam internets to poor parts of the world as part of the company's internet.org project. So yeah, wow, that's a huge hit on them. I would lean towards, if I was Facebook, that they would be replacing my satellite. Like, we got the satellite to you, we're paying you to put the satellite in the air. You blew up our satellite when you tried to do that. I'm feeling like you're the one responsible and footing the bill there.
Can you get insurance for something like for a rocket and payload?
If there's a insurance, I would be surprised. Hey, am not into
Yeah,
launching
Phoenix, I'm not taking any rides on SpaceX.
Yeah. Yeah. So think with that, we're probably still quite a ways away from recreational space travel. There is probably insurance for that. They have insurance for almost everything, so I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just saying that I would not think that there would be, and I would have no frame of reference because
You've never had to insure a satellite before?
Yeah, or rocket, or fly rockets in anything. So, I thought this was just an interesting link, just to move us past that. Something good happening today. This is a person walking a tightrope over a person doing a backflip on a motorcycle jump over a plane flying under that. So you get trifecta of crazy stunts there. So the tightrope walker is not only walking over top of a person doing a backflip on a motorcycle, but also a plane flying under that. It's pretty interesting. Looking, I thought, and they pulled it off. They didn't. No one died in that.
I just wonder how you come up with the idea to do something like that.
Yeah. So this one was kind of funny for us. Obviously not funny for a lot of people out there, but apparently YouTube silently enacted a inappropriate advertising item on their stuff for monetizing YouTube videos, and now a lot of YouTube people are complaining that they're not getting their checks anymore from ad revenue. And when you read off the description here, we'll just see what y'all think. But so things that are not advertiser friendly include, but not limited to, sexually suggestive content, partial nudity and sexual humor, violence, including the display of serious injury and events related to violent extremism, inappropriate language, including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language, promotion of drugs and regulated substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items, controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects that relate to war, political conflicts, national disasters and tragedies, and even graphic imagery if not shown. So I was commenting, isn't that like at least 3/4 of everything that's on YouTube, if not closer to 99% of everything that's on YouTube?
Yeah, they probably just said we're not paying anybody anymore.
Yeah, and the last one is controversial or sensitive subjects and events. Like, that's anything that they deem that they just don't want to pay for. So,
yeah, they just wanted to leave that wide open.
I mean, even that unicorn pooping
historical fact. I mean, how much further can you go?
Yeah, like that one's just like. But we've even ourselves experienced these vague and completely innocuous things that are like, they just, like, we got our account under a 24-hour live stream ban because somebody reported us, and then they told us that it was this loose set of community guidelines that we weren't following, which in fact we were, and they ended up reviewing it and showing it off. But I mean, we were down on YouTube for that day. We couldn't stream like we were planning on. We ended up having to set up Twitch and getting going on that. So that was a benefit from it. But hey, it's taking things away from YouTube. So you would think they wouldn't be doing things like that. Maybe they'd be a little bit clearer. And then also, I think someone in the comments to this article went on to mention, so does that mean that if I find that type of content on YouTube, I'm not going to get shown ads? No. More likely that means that you're going to get ads. The person making that video is just not going to get any money from those ads. So
Right.
they're still going to be making money. They're just not going to be paying out to the creators. So
Yep. Increasing the bottom line.
Yeah, so
By a lot.
Yeah, that's funny and not funny at the same time. So take it as you will. Something we're just going back and forth today on good and bad because this is a very bad thing and makes me even more ashamed of the state that I live in. But South Carolina, in a attempt to prevent the Zika virus from going any further than Florida, they sprayed a whole bunch of stuff all over this county, and millions of bees died immediately thereafter. So they just killed millions of bees in a time where it's fairly well known that bees are in a crisis worldwide, and they shouldn't be doing that. But
And they killed him for what?
so they were trying to prevent the Zika virus spreading, the mosquito virus that it doesn't really do that much at all, except cause future birth defects, and it was spotted in
That's
Miami.
a lot to anyone who's pregnant are going to get.
Just give everybody a free can of off. You want to stop?
Well, I mean, like, from what I understand, as far as that goes, like the Zika virus is like they think it gives people birth defects, as in the California thinks plastic gives birth defects.
Well, no,
It's a little more concrete than that, but
yeah. California thinks everything gives everyone cancer and birth defects, and everyone's going to hell. That's California. But we have the Zika virus is a little, there's like research and proof of some sort there. But it doesn't affect you if you're like a dude, or you're not pregnant or planning to be, or can't be rather, but it's still pretty bad. Like apparently it, I don't know what the rates are, but apparently it's pretty high that you're going to have some major birth defects in the kid if you carry it.
Okay.
But it doesn't harm you yourself, supposedly. But I did some reading on that with the mosquitoes actually, and apparently there's exactly there's only a certain breed of mosquito that can carry that.
Mm-hmm.
And that certain breed, they've got to be here, and they probably are there too. It lives mostly in the coastal regions, and they're the kind of aggressive mosquito breed that will chase people. Like you can run from the mosquito and it will chase you. You can go indoors, it will go indoors with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of mosquito. But that like the ones around here, in fact.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's already been spotted in Miami, so it's already on our coast. So.
Oh yeah.
It's probably like the disease, I'm guessing, gets spread among them, so it's going to end up flowing upward more than likely. Although it is good that we're coming into the winter where mosquitoes end up dying down a lot, so maybe that'll help some.
Yeah, that'll take care of it for the most part.
Well, until next year when all those ones that are probably the only ones that survived are carrying the disease.
I'm not going to even dig up the URL, and because I haven't even went so far as to do it myself. But I saw a life hacker on this, and after not long before or after the Zika outbreak, whatever it was, and was that South America? I think was the big.
yeah, I believe it was started out in Brazil.
Yeah. They had Brazil. Okay, it was there. They had done all of these testing, these tests on essentially honeypots for mosquitoes, and they're taking old used tires, great use, for these, and they're cutting them into quarters. And one tire will make 2 traps, and you take 1 quarter and then you drill a hole in the bottom, and then you have like a little pipe coming down and a valve, which you can get PVC from the hardware store or whatever for a few bucks. And you essentially just keep the valve closed most of the time, and you fill the quarter tire with water, and the mosquitoes breed in water, and you put the top quarter tire, the second quarter, on top, so it kind of forms a thing, and then there's a little hole that they can get in the center. And so the mosquitoes would like to go in there and breed. And then you go out there periodically and you just empty the valve. Just turn the valve. But the catch is that they have pheromones, and they're more attracted to their own pheromones and their breeding grounds and such. And the way that you make them attracted to the tire contraption that you build is that you put in a piece of cardboard or construction paper or something like that that would gather, essentially these pheromones would go sort of like gather and stick to it and such, whatever, in water. And when you drain the water and then fill it up again, now obviously you drain the water and all the mosquito eggs go away, but then you and they can't survive, but then you fill it up with water again, but you have the cardboard in there and toilet paper. I've actually been saving some toilet paper rolls to do that. But toilet paper rolls or whatever, and then you fill the water up and they still have all the pheromones on them, so it's really attractive. And supposedly over time the trap becomes more and more effective.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find the Lifehacker one. I did see it on Lifehacker like you, I believe, but I found one for Gizmodo linking to the same one. I did find another Lifehacker one that uses a plastic bottle and
Then
possibly
again, it might have been Instructables. No, because they don't do news.
the Gizmodo linked to another place. I think it was like 4Z or something like that. So it was probably just some regular person that did it, and then they.
Well, no, it was like an effort. They did it over like a mass area in Brazil, and they had these big promising results.
Well, it says in the Gizmodo thing that it was Canadian researchers.
Yeah, this was Brazil, what I read.
And
Well, anyway,
it was developed by researchers from Mexico's National Institute of Public Health as well, plus a little money from the Canadian government.
well, hey, who develops what? We know that firsthand.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like, but that article does explain what Nick just explained there as well. So if you wanted to see it in action,
Sounded really good. Just been too busy.
yeah.
Maybe next year.
Well, I mean, it's good if you have to replace a tire, I imagine, but
I did recently too.
oh, you should have kept it.
I know. Well, actually, that one wouldn't have worked.
I'm
The
not sure that
sidewall,
one
the
would
whole
have
side.
held water.
Yeah, the sidewall blew out.
So I thought this was a pretty funny video here. So I'm assuming it's a parent asked his kid the trolley problem, where you have, it looks like 5 adults on one set of tracks that a train is coming down, and you have a spot that you can veer off where it's only going to kill one child, and which one would you choose? And I'll just let you watch the video to see how the 2-year-old kid decided to answer that problem, but it is probably the worst answer for that problem.
Uh-oh, Nicholas. This train is going to crash into these 5 people. Should we move the train to go this way, or should we let it go that way? Which way should the train go?
You're muted if you're even listening.
He's eating.
Oh, you're eating.
I'm sorry? I was listening to that video you just posted.
Oh. Do you still use the Plex server?
I still have it. I haven't used it in a while.
Okay. Well, they came out with an update for it that you can now use it as a DVR to record stuff over the air with a digital tuner. And I believe they had also mentioned that you could use a cable card as well to also make it a full cable TV DVR. So yeah, there's Plex, and I'm not sure if Kodi has a similar feature. I know you could do the stuff with Kodi already where you could hook up the TV and use cable channels, but I'm not sure on their DVR stuff. Honestly, the last DVR I used was a Windows 7 Media Center, and honestly, that worked amazingly well for DVR. Far better than the Comcast DVR we were provided. So, moving on, looks like Sony is trying to revive the Walkman again, and apparently they're trying to go the Apple route of making things gold-plated and thinking someone is going to pay $3,500 plus for a Walkman just because it's gold-plated. Besides that fact, it looks like a terribly dumb device and extremely thick and bulky for comparative to an iPhone or iPod or even regular cell phone. So
they have the ugliest devices, Apple. Their colors, and the last one, like champagne, is the new popular color or something.
I thought rose gold was the big popular thing.
It's oh god, they're ugly.
Yeah, Apple does terrible colors, but Sony is not far behind them in the terrible design things.
Just back to the Plex thing.
Yeah.
You will, for the feature you're talking about, you will have to subscribe to their Plus Pass subscriber plan. That's $5 a month.
Oh.
Ha!
Yeah.
Hey, what was the Plex thing? Just totally spaced.
Oh, it's a DVR, so you can record.
Well, I know what it is.
The Plex server in general.
Yeah.
But
No, I know what that is, but I mean the new thing you're talking about.
The Plex server is a media server. The new feature is the DVR feature.
Oh, okay.
I had to say them both, so you made sure we're on the same.
Jade's our kids from her previous marriage are they're always wanting this and that, TV and media and whatever, and they thought that because their dad, who is a cop by the way, is getting all these shows and movies for them, and they're telling us about them like before they come out, and stuff. We're like, nah, that's fine. Oh no, it's legit. He's getting them through Plex. Like, no. That's a media server, dude. Anyway.
So next interesting thing I thought is Watson actually did something useful besides or something interesting besides playing Jeopardy. Watson decided to create its own trailer for a horror movie about AI called Morgan, and I haven't gotten to watch the video yet, so I'm not sure how it ended up being or what it was like, but it's on my to watch list here. Thought that was pretty cool. AI creating a trailer about a movie about AI. Let's see what AI thinks about AI. See what else we got. Oh, so major reason why malware and things like that are continuously being able to spread so quickly and fast is because of a study that GHacks did a story on the study of that apparently concluded 56% of email recipients and 40% of Facebook users clicked on links from unknown senders. So if you feel like you fall into that group and you've been wondering why your computer keeps getting infected, that is the reason.
Less people using email than Facebook do this?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, at the same time, you got to think that majority of your email users are going to be in a larger crowd segment. So like you're going to have older adults focusing mainly on emails, where they might not be as aware on Facebook. And Facebook, you have a newer generation. It's probably the higher segment.
I don't think of it like that. Like everyone old uses Facebook because it's easier for them than understanding email. Like they get to see things that without having to do stuff.
Most of the old people I've dealt with are fine with emails. They've like finally come to terms with that, or maybe they were just old enough to learn how that actually worked before getting old and not being able to learn anymore.
I've seen some people like that, but most of the people I've dealt with have, you know.
I mean, my grandmother is on Facebook, so, but she doesn't know how to use it, and that's more than likely a reason why she would probably fall in that 40% still. But I feel like she doesn't know emails either, so she would definitely fall 56% if she got an email from a Nigerian prince offering her millions of dollars. You walk to the mailbox, Beavis? What's a mailbox? I know what an inbox is, but
yeah, mailbox. That's that thing down by the road that the postal service refuses to use at my house anyway.
So I thought this was pretty sweet. It looks like Sphero has a force ban for the Sphero BB8 Bluetooth thing, and like you can even act like you're using a lightsaber with it and control it and do it and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like you're using the force to control your BB8 there. And those are really fun. I'd highly recommend everyone checking into Spheros. They're extremely good for teaching kids about robotics and even programming at an earlier age.
Because my mail lady left a note in the box the other week that said for a package very little larger than an envelope that said that there was no secure place to leave the mail. And to come and pick it up as usual. Normally it's just because that something might not look like it'll fit in the box just because it does anyway, but they don't want to walk up the driveway because it's too steep. They won't drive the car because of the wear and tear.
I do remember that's the box that they put little things in, and they stuff big things in sometimes on ours.
Yeah, they don't do that with mine. If it's like slightly larger than an envelope, they're not putting it in there.
That's why you order. Well, that's why I order larger things so that it will come straight to my door.
Yeah, but they don't want to walk up my driveway.
Well, yours is a different situation.
They don't want to exercise.
You just wait until that hurricane hits.
I'm LA.
Right, no hurricane. There is no hurricane.
I know. I'm just. So from that.
Wait, the problem here is that Nick's mailman doesn't want to walk up his driveway, and Brantley just doesn't want to walk down his driveway.
Yep.
My problem is I don't want to go to the post office. I just don't want to come out at all. But yeah, but I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have too many. Like our mail service is fairly good here. I just don't understand why they come.
I keep writing evil letters on USPS.gov or whatever, and I write them in a wicked letter every once in a while out of necessity, really. And I request. There's like a thing on the form, and it's like, how would you like us to contact you about this problem? And I always choose email. Do not contact me by phone. And every single time I've done this, I receive 2 or 3 calls from the phone calls from the local post office branch. And I've even said in the thing, hey, email me only, and B, if you got a contact, and B, don't send the local post office branch. I don't want to deal with it. They're the problem that I'm complaining about.
Well,
Who is over them?
What's probably happening in that situation is that the top people get that, and then they just yell at the local office, and then the local office is trying to figure out how to fix it, so they contact you because the top office doesn't give them that thing that says don't contact me.
Well, I don't know. I think they get it.
To are not getting are not.
I think they get it, but then that's why I get slips in the box that say they couldn't find a secure place to leave the mail.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
For a package this big.
Complaining to the post office is kind of like complaining in jail. You're not gonna get very far. You're gonna probably end up worse off than when you started complaining. So,
Gosh.
Good job, Beavis. All right, well, back on track here. We had talked about earlier this week that SETI had discovered a strong signal, and they thought it was a very, very good sign of life, and apparently it was. It was just from our planet, not one out in space. I posted the Slashdot link there because one of the top 2 comments are, first, we found intelligence on Earth, and then the second one, it was coming from the microwave in the break room. We've been over this. So, yeah, and that's a big problem with trying to detect radio signals. That's actually why there's actually a huge no radio or anything space in West Virginia, I believe it is, where we have a large radio antenna array. No, what was that, Beavis? Post a link to it and we'll talk about it. Yeah, that town that the place is based in, you actually can't have anything like Wi-Fi or cordless phones or anything radio like, so it won't interfere with them receiving transmissions from outer space instead. It also turns out it's a very good place for those people that believe that they're allergic to electromagnetism, which is in Better Call Saul, if you haven't seen that. The brother in that is believes he's affected by it. I can't wait for that show to come back on. 10 episodes.
I got bored with it after a few episodes. I don't know, we watched like maybe almost a season, or maybe the season. I don't know.
I mean, the biggest thing there is like you're waiting for, especially if you've watched Breaking Bad, you're waiting for Saul Goodman, and we have yet to see the real Saul Goodman in action. Like, we've seen glimpses of how he's going to become who he becomes, but we're not seeing the Breaking Bad Saul Goodman that we expect. And
I don't know. I felt like I was just interested in seeing the transition. That's why I figured the show would be about. That was. Yeah.
It's a lot of backstory. You know, you're learning, what kind of person he is, how he thinks, and why he does the things that he does.
I just felt
and
like
how he can go down that slippery slope.
I guess the overall concept, really, to me, is interesting, but not enough to actually watch.
Yeah.
More than a season or a whole season. You know what I mean?
I mean, Johnny and I still like it. We've really enjoyed the second season even still. But it's like right now you're watching. What's his real name? Forget off the bat.
Yeah.
It's can't think of it.
Yeah, it's slipped all over our thoughts. Jimmy, slipping Jimmy. That's it.
Yeah, Jimmy.
But yeah, you're watching Jimmy right now, and Jimmy's pretty cool, but Jimmy's trying to be good and doesn't realize that he's going to do a lot better being bad. So I think when we actually start to see the transition to Saul Goodman that it's going to start being really good. But so far they've done enough to keep me interested. At least I can see where others might get bored of it. Because the other side of it that I really like is the backstory of some of the other characters, like the Mike being he's a major player in that in Better Call Saul. So I think his story is really, really interesting, far more interesting than Jimmy's is at this current point. And then also the crazy Mexican that we didn't get to see much of in Breaking Bad because like his first interaction with Walter White got blown up. So
I guess I was more interested in those characters, really.
Yeah, and they do a lot more
Mike's
of that
character
in
is very
season
interesting.
2. Season 2, they do a lot more of the other characters' backstory. Like you get to see the crazy Mexican guy and their Taco, whatever.
Taco Supreme.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. I really liked it. Yeah, and yeah, Saul Goodman came from It Is All Good Man, and he's even used that name previously. So that's where I'm waiting, is for that connection to come in. Plus, it's really weird. It's like they're showing you the aftermath of Breaking Bad at times too. So like when you see Saul Goodman in the mall, working in a mall, that's after the Breaking Bad series went through. So hopefully the whole series is going to wrap all of that up nicely, going from start to post Breaking Bad.
Should go to change them to delayed auto start and see what happens.
Yeah, we have seen that before. Delayed auto start works better for things in Windows 8 and 10. I think that feature was.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is well, I mean, granted, you probably know exactly specific instances of what you're talking about, but a lot of that stuff just does start and then stops. That's all it needs to do. That's all the service is for. So, I mean, obviously make sure you're not looking at something like that, but I'm trying delayed. Yeah, delayed helps a lot with some things. Okay. Okay.
So I thought this was a very interesting notebook. It's almost to the point where I feel like notebooks should be at, but just a little bit behind. This is the new Lenovo Yoga book. They're going to have a screen, and it looks like where you would have a keyboard is a capacitive touchscreen as well, but it's only going to show either a keyboard or blank if you wanted to use it as a sketching pad. So they're getting close to where I would like to open up my laptop and it be 2 screens, but they're just not there yet for some reason.
Why do you even? Not like the 3DS or something. Nintendo little handheld has 2 screens.
Kinda, but I like the second, like you shouldn't have any controls on it. Like it should just be 2 screens. Like you can use a touch keyboard, you can use a touchpad. I don't see why they're sticking with buttons and things like that now.
I like to be able to feel the keys on the keyboard. I could not type on that at all.
I know. How could you work on
it'd
a
just be
keyboard
hunt and
with
peck
no division? Yeah.
I mean, I've the Surface Pro I have a keyboard that is basically like that. It's just a felt cover, and you type on that, and it's really not that bad. It's just like learning any new keyboard. Like when I had an EPC and they had the cramp keyboard, it took me a little bit to get used to it, but I was able to type on it just as well. Same thing with the Surface Pro one. It took me a little while to get used to it, but I'm able to type on it just as well. Yeah, no problem, Shuk. Glad you liked it. It's actually I had to do it in video that way. Actually, let me post that because we didn't post it on the show yesterday. We mentioned it at the very end, but I actually had to do it as a separate video, and it's because timing is such a big factor on there that if I'm doing screen recording and running a VM, that it changes how many files actually encrypted. So like not running the screen recording stuff and just doing that demo, I was actually getting less files encrypted. But I left it up there because the point of that is not to completely prevent everything from getting decrypted. It's to prevent at least a portion of it, if not a large portion of it. So so there's that video link if you want to know what Shuka's mentioning there. And yeah, glad you like it. I'm really excited about that feature. I'm really, really excited about it getting up in there. Okay, so Shuk, I would say go ahead and do your CP7 stuff because, I mean, at the worst, wait until CP8 is released, but branding, user tracking, things like that are at the best going to come with dsupport suite updates, and that is a little ways off and down the road. So I would definitely be better for doing something as soon as V8 came out, because then you will be able to go ahead and get your installer created with customized settings, and the things on V8 that you can enable will be enabled. We actually haven't talked about that. Do we have an opinion on the current CP7 users?
In
offering
regards,
them a new customized installer? Since there will be a number of features they can enable and disable. We'll talk about that more.
yeah, I think we talk about that privately, maybe.
Yeah. If anyone has any suggestions on how they would like to see it, feel free to mention it. We will be happy to take that into account on our discussions here. We'll talk about it later. So this I thought was fairly interesting because I'd always wondered. I'd been into surgery today. Actually, Michael's in surgery today, so do whatever with that info as you will. But there's a nice article on Lifehacker about how anesthesia works. Anesthesia.
Sounds like your anesthesia.
Yeah, how the knockout drug works and why it's so complicated. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I've been through that process before, and it does seem like you have to have a special technician that's like specialized in that to provide that and give it to you. It's not like it's a something that the doctors just put on your face and turn on and turn off when they need to. It's like someone's there monitoring it and providing it to you throughout the whole time. So, and like they have a specialized focus in that. Let's see what else we got. I'm just checking out, see if there's any new news. Not really any new news. Let's see what the old news is. And we're going a little bit over today because we started a little bit late today. So let's see where we're at right now. Oh, that's fun. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Nope, looks like I don't have anything. Oh, no worries, Shook. Come and go as you please. We know people got things they got focus on sometimes, like probably the Features Tech crew has got some big stuff going on because they've been working on some other stuff, it seems, too. So,
yeah, we talked about the Falcon 9 earlier, Beavis.
Yeah, yeah. And it had the Facebook satellite on it, too, if you're reading an article that didn't mention that as well. Let's do a live demo here. We do have a new thing that we're pretty much ready to release right now. Let me get my system set up so that I can show it off here. But Michael has completed a project for the QuickHash. He's updated QuickHash and added some nice new features to that, and we'll just show it off here quickly. Oh, that's awesome, Shoot. The Phantom 4 is awesome. I just got my Phantom 3 back up and running a couple weeks ago. I got a ton of great footage of our family farmland that I need to go through and post on my YouTube as well. So they are super fun devices for that kind of stuff. And that kind of really showed off too how much those technologies could really be used in the farming industry. So I was around a bunch of farmers showing it off, and they were like, "Wow, you mean I could just sit in my truck and not have to get out and check the crops or the animals?" I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it means. Heck, with some of them, you might not even have to leave your home. All right, so Proctor, are we good on sharing my screen if I share it here?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna give it a second to catch up on the video, and then we will show off the updated QuickHash here. Yeah, the limitations and laws is kind of frustrating, especially since I know the area you're living in, you'd have to travel quite a bit of ways to be out of town, and probably in town parks, which that city is also very well known for. They probably restrict it there as well. So, as long as you're not using it for commercial usage, though, you're fairly free will on the flying and usage of it. Besides airports and stadiums and places with large crowds of people. Past those, normally you can get away with flying it fairly responsibly, but those are some big features there. All right, are we live on the stream? Let me see. Yep, we're showing my screen. So, all right, so check this out. We got QuickHash here, and it is designed to be a portable app. It does have some dependencies, but those will auto-download if they're not there. The zip file you'll initially download will have all the dependencies with it, so you can just extract a folder and use that folder anywhere. But here is our cache. Nice little options like increasing thread priority and having a debug feature that logs to a file. It's got automatic updates. It can clear out any registry settings that it makes changes to. And we'll go ahead and pull some random files here and see how well it does. So this one, let's see how large this one is.
Brantley, is the stream still working?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay, I can hear you, but my computer is totally unresponsive.
Oh, I was gonna say I couldn't hear the sound, so. Yeah, sounds still good too.
All right.
All right, so we got a file here. We'll just do a hash on it, and you can see it calculating the hashes. That is a fairly larger file. So let's go ahead and browse for a different one, because this will go ahead and show off another feature. So you can see how quick those hashes are pulled. You have one more hash algorithm than you would have with the previous release of QuickHash. But you can compare hashes to anything that's selected, and you can see that you actually get selections. So as you browse through tabs, if you wanted to compare two files, you'd be able to have them both open and then use this compare hash on either one. If you wanted to like copy this one, just click that label, and then let's move over to a different one and say compare hash. Just paste that one in and find a match with that one. So those are two different files, so that's cool there. You can copy all this information to the clipboard, you can upper lowercase it, and you can even upload it to our server so that we can check it out to add to our definitions list that we use in various products like Crypto Prevent, Defunct, Kill 'em all three of those currently use it, Kill 'em all v5 that is. But then we'll be able to add it to those lists, and most of the things based on D7X code will in the future will be able to use those hash definitions as well. So definitely, if you find something malicious and you want to report it, you can upload it here. Great integration is if you do have Crypto Prevent already on a system, it will check against the hash files that we have for that, and if it's already on there, you won't need to upload it. If it's not, then you can please do upload it, and we'll try to get it added to our hash list as well. So cool things there. It also has an update feature, so when Michael makes improvements, you can get those pulled over automatically. And yeah, it's pretty quick, simple, nice little app, and he did fairly decent job on it. So we're excited about that, and I should have it published. I'm waiting for him to get back from his surgery stuff. I want to go over one more thing with him before I post it up there. So look for that very soon. I'll go ahead and stop screen sharing. Proctor, be aware.
I am unable to switch back to gallery view.
Okay, so it should just be my big face here. So that's fine. But did anybody have anything else to talk about or hit on or touch on? I think we've made it to our hour a little bit more now. No? That is going to be freeware, Shook. So freely available for anybody that wants to use it or do whatever with it. Past that, included in, if we include it in other apps, it's going to be those hash definitions. I can't think of a lot of reason to have it. Wouldn't be that bad to have, I guess, as an app that you could run from a menu of D7.2, which you can set up right now currently, and maybe we'll go ahead and do a default app for that when we do post it and release it, so you can have it run from the menu if you wanted to get hashes for a file or something to that effect. With if you're cleaning up malware and things like that, probably a good time to do that kind of stuff. So all right, well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Hopefully I'll have this IRC on the webpage thing figured out, and we'll have that back up and running, and we shouldn't have any more audio issues. I think Proctor's got his sound settings worked out now. And yeah, thanks for all that, and we'll see you tomorrow. Proctor, you can't take us out either?
It's probably at reset button time.
Okay. Reset's fine.
Oh, well, Alt Control Delete worked.